Captain Tae-hyun Kim stood on the bridge of the Earth Defense Force vessel Persistence *, his eyes fixed on the main screen. The stars looked the same as always, bright dots against the black emptiness of space. His ship patrolled the edge of human space, a routine mission they had done many times before. "Captain, we have an unknown object approaching," said Officer Gina, her fingers moving quickly across her control panel. "It's big, much bigger than anything we've seen." Tae-hyun straightened his uniform. "Show me." The screen changed to show a massive ship. It was unlike any human design, with smooth curves and a surface that seemed to glow with an inner light. The ship was at least 5 times the size of the Persistence *. "Any response to our hails?" Tae-hyun asked. "None, sir," said Communications Officer Sunho. "Wait, they're sending something now." The screen flickered, and a face appeared. The alien had pale blue skin, large black eyes, and no visible nose. When it spoke, its mouth barely moved, but everyone on the bridge heard the words clearly in their minds. "I am Ambassador Lorix of the Arvani Dominion. Your species is now under the protection of the Galactic Concordat." Tae-hyun stepped forward. "I am Captain Tae-hyun Kim of Earth. We don't know of any Galactic Concordat. We haven't agreed to any protection." The alien made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Agreement is not required, Captain. Your species has been categorized as Class 3, technically capable but physically weak and militarily insignificant. This classification is not negotiable." Tae-hyun felt his face grow hot with anger, but he kept his voice calm. "With respect, Ambassador, Earth and its colonies are independent. We don't answer to outside powers." "How quaint," said Lorix. "Your independence, as you call it, was merely the result of your isolation. That isolation has ended. You will receive the full details of your obligations under the Concordat within one of your Earth days." The screen went dark before Tae-hyun could respond. "They've moved away, Captain," said Officer Gina. "Heading out of our system at incredible speed." "Record everything," ordered Tae-hyun, "and get me a direct line to Earth Command. Priority Alpha." Admiral Sujin Park read the report for the 3rd time in her office at Earth Command Headquarters in Seoul. The holographic display showed images of the alien vessel next to Captain Kim's official account of the meeting. "And you're certain about the language used?" she asked. "Class 3 species. Militarily insignificant." Captain Kim's face nodded from the screen. "Those were the exact words, Admiral." The alien, Lorix, spoke as if we were children. Sujin tapped her fingers on her desk. In her 30 years of service, she had prepared for first contact, but not like this. Not with a species that already viewed humanity as inferior. "We've received their Concordat document," she said. "It outlines resource quotas, technology restrictions, and territorial limitations. Essentially, they want to turn Earth into a protectorate." "What will we do?" asked Tae-hyun. Sujin stood and walked to the window. Outside, the rebuilt skyline of Seoul glittered in the afternoon sun. Humanity had survived wars, climate disaster, and near extinction to reach the stars. They hadn't come this far to become someone else's subjects. "For now, we learn," she said firmly. "We need to know more about these Arvani and the other species in their Concordat. Find out their strengths, their weaknesses. And then..." Sujin turned back to face the screen, her expression hard. "And then we show them exactly how significant we can be." She ended the call and pressed a button on her desk. "Get me the Security Council. And contact Dr. Minji Han at the Lunar Research Station. Tell her Project Thunderstorm just became our top priority." As night fell over Earth, its people slept unaware that their place in the galaxy had just changed forever. But in secure rooms and hidden facilities, men and women began the work that would decide humanity's fate among the stars. The galaxy didn't fear humans yet, but they would. 6 months had passed since the Arvani ship first appeared in Earth's space. The huge round building of the Galactic Assembly stretched high above Dongwu Choi as he walked through its doors. As Earth's chosen representative, he wore a simple black suit with Earth's new space emblem, a blue planet with stars around it. Inside, thousands of aliens from hundreds of worlds sat in wide circles. Some looked almost human. Others had extra limbs, strange skin, or body shapes Dongwu had never imagined. Yet all of them stared at him as he walked to the speaking area. The Arvani ambassador Lorex stood tall on a raised platform. Next to him were representatives from the Xerathi, insect-like beings with 4 arms, and the Voldurians, who looked like walking plants. "The human wishes to speak," announced Lorex, his voice carrying a tone of boredom. "How entertaining." Dongwu took a deep breath. "I come with a request from Earth. We ask the Assembly to reconsider our Class 3 designation. In the past 6 months, we have shown our value through trade and shared knowledge." Murmurs spread through the crowd. Some aliens nodded, while others made sounds of disagreement. Xerathi stepped forward, clicking its mandibles. "Your species has barely mastered space travel. You have no understanding of true power. Accept your place. We seek only fair treatment," said Dongwu. "The resource quotas placed on Earth are too harsh. Our people—" "Your people," interrupted Lorex, "are lucky to have our protection. Many worlds wait centuries for such an honor." The Voldurian representative waved a leafy arm. "We have voted. Earth remains Class 3. This discussion is finished." Lorex smiled, showing sharp teeth. "You have a choice, human. Accept the Concordat's terms or Earth will be cut off from all galactic trade routes. Imagine how your people will suffer, alone in the darkness of space. You have 30 Earth days to decide." Dongwu wanted to argue more, but guards moved toward him. His time was up. Back on Earth, Dongwu reported to a room filled with world leaders. Admiral Sujin Park sat at the head of the table, her face revealing nothing as he explained the ultimatum. "So they won't negotiate," said President Kang. "What options do we have?" Admiral Park stood up. "We appear to comply while secretly preparing." "Preparing for what?" asked a European leader. "War? Against the entire galaxy." "If necessary," answered Admiral Park firmly. "But I have something to show you first." She pressed a button, and the room darkened. A hologram appeared showing a strange device with swirling blue energy. "This is Project Thunderstorm," said Dr. Minji Han as she stepped from the shadows. The small woman had been Earth's top quantum physicist for years. "It's a new type of weapon and propulsion system. The Arvani think they understand all physics, but they're wrong." Dr. Han pointed to parts of the device. "This uses Earth's unique understanding of quantum mechanics. We discovered principles the Arvani missed or ignored. Their shields can't stop these weapons. Their sensors can't track this propulsion system." "How far along is it?" asked President Kang. "We have working prototypes," said Admiral Park. "We need 6 more months to outfit our fleet." "The Arvani gave us 30 days, reminded Dongwu. Admiral Park's eyes flashed with determination. "Then we agree to their terms. For now, we play weak and obedient while building our strength." "It's risky," said President Kang. "If they discover our plans." "The risk of doing nothing is greater," said Dr. Han. "I've studied their technology. They don't respect us because they think we're harmless. We need to show them otherwise." The room fell silent as everyone considered their options. Finally, President Kang nodded. "Very well. We'll give the Arvani what they expect, a humble, compliant species. Meanwhile, Admiral Park, you have authorization to proceed with full militarization." As the meeting ended, Dongwu approached Admiral Park. "Do you really think we can win against them?" She looked at him with steady eyes. "They've ruled the galaxy so long they've forgotten how to fight for survival. But humans, fighting for survival is what we do best." 1 year passed since Earth accepted the Arvani terms. On the surface, humans played their part well. They paid their resource taxes. They followed the rules. They acted weak. But deep inside a hidden base on the far side of the moon, engineer Hyun-Soo Kang never stopped working. The lunar facility was built inside a crater, covered with special materials that blocked scans from space. Here, Earth's best minds gathered to create weapons that might save humanity. Hyun-Soo wiped sweat from his forehead as he adjusted a glowing blue component. The thunderstorm device hummed with power. Another test, another improvement, he said to his team. The energy output is now 3 times higher than last month. Dr. Minji Han nodded with approval. The Arvani rely on shields that block physical objects and known energy types. But this, she pointed to the swirling blue core, this passes right through them. Hyun-Soo smiled. They think they know everything about physics. Their arrogance will be their weakness. A screen on the wall lit up, showing Admiral Park's face. Progress report. We're ready to install the technology on the first 10 ships, said Hyun-Soo. The smaller version works for fighter craft too. Good, said Admiral Park. The Arvani inspection team arrives tomorrow at the main space station. Everything classified has been hidden. They'll see only what we want them to see. On the military training station orbiting Mars, Colonel Ju Yoon watched her Special Forces team practice in zero gravity. The soldiers moved in perfect formation, using new fighting techniques never seen before in human or alien combat. Faster, she called through her comm. The Arvani have 4 arms but slow reaction times. Speed is our advantage. The soldiers increased their pace, spinning and firing training weapons that left glowing marks on practice targets. They used the environment in ways no Arvani would expect, bouncing off walls and using momentum instead of brute force. Chuwoo's second in command, Major Doyeon, floated beside her. The team is ready, Colonel. But will 10,000 soldiers be enough against millions of Arvani warriors? We don't need to match their numbers, said Juwoo. We need to shock them, break their confidence, show them that their fighting style, unchanged for 1,000 years, has weaknesses. She pointed to a soldier who was using a new gravity manipulator, a device that could change a fighter's direction instantly without momentum loss. The Arvani expect us to fight by their rules. We won't. In his office at Earth Command, Dongwoo Choi reviewed reports from spies in the Galactic Assembly. Some smaller alien species were quietly admiring how humans had adapted to Concordat rules. A few had even reached out in secret, expressing support. His computer beeped with an encrypted message from Admiral Park. Arvani inspection complete. They saw nothing suspicious. Their report calls Earth obedient and primitive. Dongwoo smiled. The Arvani believed exactly what humans wanted them to believe. A knock on his door interrupted his thoughts. His assistant entered nervously. Sir, we just received news. The Arvani have seized our research station on Europa. They claim we violated resource agreements. Dongwoo's blood ran cold. Casualties. Several scientists killed. They're calling it an accident. Dongwoo's hands tightened into fists. Get me Admiral Park immediately. As he waited for the connection, Dongwoo looked out his window at the night sky. For a year, humanity had prepared in silence, hoping to avoid war. But sometimes, as his grandmother used to say, you don't get to choose your battles. They choose you. The screen lit up with Admiral Park's face. Before she could speak, Dongwoo said the words that would change everything. It's time. The Arvani ship Dominant will hung over Europa like a massive cloud. Its smooth blue-gray surface reflected Jupiter's light as smaller ships moved back and forth from the moon's surface. Below, the human research station had been under Arvani control for 2 days. Inside the station, Lieutenant Eun-Jun Lee hid in an air duct. She was the only human still free. The others were either dead or captured. Through a small opening, she watched Arvani soldiers march humans away. Their 4 arms held weapons bigger than anything humans could normally carry. These humans had mining equipment not listed in their permits, said an Arvani officer. The Concordat is clear about resource limits. Sir, they said it was for ice extraction only, replied another Arvani. For their water supply. Do not question me, snapped the officer. These creatures must learn obedience. Yunjin's hand tightened around her small camera. She had recorded everything since the Arvani arrived. How they fired on unarmed scientists, how they planted illegal equipment after the attack, how they practiced their story about accidental deaths. One of the captured scientists spoke up. This station is legally sanctioned. You have no right. The Arvani officer hit him across the face. Rights? You have the rights we give you, human. Yunjin had seen enough. She backed away through the air duct, moving toward the communication room. Most systems were down, but she had prepared one emergency transmitter. She just needed to reach it. The room was empty when she dropped from the ceiling vent. Working quickly, Yunjin connected her camera to the transmitter. The device was small, designed to send a short burst that might escape Arvani detection. Please work, she whispered as she pressed the send button. The screen showed transmitting. Then, complete. The door crashed open. 3 Arvani soldiers entered, weapons raised. Impressive for a human, said one. But futile. Yunjin stood tall. You're wrong. Nothing we do is futile. At Earth Command, Admiral Sujin Park watched the footage with a face like stone. The room was silent as the recording showed Arvani soldiers killing unarmed scientists and staging the scene. Lieutenant Lee got this out before they captured her, said a communications officer. The transmission reached us through our hidden relay network. Admiral Park turned to the military council. They've crossed a line. This isn't about resources. They wanted blood. We should lodge a formal protest with the Galactic Assembly, suggested a political advisor. We will, said Admiral Park. And when they dismiss it, as they surely will, we'll have our justification. She pressed a button on her desk. A large screen showed a map of the solar system, with various ship positions marked. The Arvani believe they can kill our people without consequences, she continued. We need to correct that misunderstanding. General Chunho stood. Admiral, are you proposing we strike back? The thunderstorm technology isn't fully deployed yet. It's ready enough, said Admiral Park. Captain Kim's ship Persistence has been fully upgraded, along with 5 other vessels. I'm authorizing Operation First Strike. She looked around the room. For a year, we've played weak. We've bowed and scraped. We've let them think we're harmless. Now they've given us the reason we needed to show our true strength. The Arvani have hundreds of ships, said another officer. We have 6 with the new technology. Admiral Park's eyes flashed with determination. We don't need to defeat their entire fleet. We need to shock them. One swift, decisive victory to demonstrate that humans will not be killed without consequences. She looked once more at the frozen image of Lieutenant Lee facing her captors. Send the formal protest. When they reject it, as they will, contact Captain Kim. Operation First Strike begins. General Chunho nodded. And what shall we tell Captain Kim his objective is? Admiral Park's voice was cold as space itself. Retake the Europa station. Rescue our people. And make sure the galaxy never mistakes our patience for weakness again. Captain Taehyun Kim stood on the bridge of the Persistence, now barely recognizable from a year ago. New blue glowing panels lined the walls. The weapons systems hummed with thunderstorm energy. 5 similar ships flew in formation behind him. We're approaching Europa, Captain, said Officer Gina. Arvani ships detected. Count as 3 large vessels and 8 smaller craft. Taehyun nodded. Just as expected. They never send more than necessary. They don't think they need to. He opened a channel to all human ships. This is Captain Kim. Today we show the galaxy that humans are not to be taken lightly. Remember your training. Remember our people who died. Operation First Strike begins now. On the main screen, the Arvani ships grew larger. The dominant Will was massive compared to the human vessels. An Arvani face appeared on the communication screen. Human vessels, this is Commander Drax of the Asterisk Dominant Will Asterisk. You are entering restricted space. Turn back immediately or be destroyed. Taehyun looked directly at the alien. This is Captain Kim of Earth. We are here for our people and our station. Return them, and we leave peacefully. The Arvani commander laughed. 6 small ships against my fleet. Your primitive weapons can't even scratch our shields. This is your final warning. Taehyun ended the communication. All ships, activate thunderstorm systems. The human vessels began to glow with blue energy. On Officer Gina's screen, the ship's power levels doubled, then tripled. They're firing, called another officer. Evasive pattern Delta, ordered Taehyun calmly. The asterisk persistence asterisk moved in a way no ship had ever moved before. It didn't turn so much as asterisk shift asterisk, appearing to jump short distances without traditional acceleration. The Arvani weapons fire passed through empty space. On the Arvani bridge, Commander Drax stood in shock. What just happened? Where did they go? They're still there, sir, said an Arvani officer. But they're moving in patterns our targeting systems can't predict. Impossible. They're just humans. Drax shouted. The human ships split into 3 groups, moving faster than the Arvani could track. Blue energy beams shot from the human vessels. When they hit the Arvani shields, instead of stopping, they passed right through. Return fire, ordered Drax. But the human ships were never where the Arvani aimed. On the asterisk persistence asterisk, Taehyun directed the battle with calm precision. Target their weapon systems only. We want to disable, not destroy. One by one, the Arvani ships lost weapons capabilities. The smaller craft began to retreat. The asterisk dominant will asterisk is still operational, Captain, reported Officer Gina. Then let's send them a message they won't forget, said Taehyun. All ships, concentrate fire on their main power core. 6 blue beams struck the same spot on the massive Arvani ship. Lights flickered across its surface. Their shields are completely down, said Officer Gina with amazement. Their weapons are offline. Taehyun opened a channel to the Arvani ship. Commander Drax, your ship is disabled. Surrender now. The Arvani commander's face showed disbelief. What have you done? What technology is this? Human technology, replied Taehyun simply. Now, about our people. 2 hours later, Lieutenant Eunjin Lee and the surviving scientists were safely aboard the asterisk persistence asterisk. The Europa station was back under human control. In the medical bay, Eunjin looked up at Captain Kim. I didn't think anyone would come for us. We never leave our people behind, said Taehyun. And we needed to send a message. What message? Taehyun smiled. That humans are not to be underestimated. On the bridge, Officer Sunho turned to Taehyun. Captain, we're being contacted by ships from all over the system. They've seen our battle. They want to know how we defeated the Arvani. Let them wonder, said Taehyun. He opened a channel that would broadcast to the entire Galactic Assembly. His message was brief but powerful. We came in peace. You chose war. Remember what happened here today the next time you think humans are weak. The Galactic Assembly had never been so loud. Hundreds of alien species shouted, whistled, or made their own unique sounds as they reacted to the news. On every screen, the battle at Europa played on repeat. The human ships moved in impossible ways. The Arvani weapons missed. The mighty asterisk dominant will asterisk sat powerless at the end. Orcs, the Arvani ambassador, stood at the center, his blue skin now pale with anger. These humans are dangerous, he shouted over the noise. They hid their true technology from us. They attacked our peaceful ships. From the back of the room, a small green alien with 4 eyes spoke up. Peaceful. We all saw the recording of your soldiers killing unarmed scientists. More voices joined in agreement. Many species had suffered under Arvani rule for centuries. Seeing the mighty Arvani defeated gave them hope. Lorax raised all 4 of his arms. The humans must be stopped before they destroy the order we have built. I call for all species to unite against this threat." Into this chaos walked Commander Jae-hyun Baek, Earth's new military representative. He wore a simple uniform with the blue glow of thunderstorm technology visible at the edges. The room fell silent as he moved to the speaking area. "Earth did not want this conflict," he said, his voice calm but strong. "We asked for fair treatment. We were denied. Our people were killed. We defended ourselves." He touched a small device on his wrist, and new images appeared on the screens. They showed thousands of documents, reports, orders, and messages from Arvani leaders. "Before we left Europa, we downloaded the Arvani database," said Jae-hyun. "It shows how they have treated not just humans, but many species, how they take resources, crush resistance, and keep advanced technology for themselves." Angry whispers spread through the room as aliens saw evidence of Arvani lies that had affected their own worlds. Lorax stepped forward. "This is fake. Humans create false information. Every file is verified with Arvani security codes," replied Jae-hyun. "You can check them yourselves." He turned to address the entire assembly. "Earth does not seek war with the galaxy. We seek fairness. We seek the right to exist without being treated as lesser beings. Those who feel the same are welcome to speak with us." As he left the assembly hall, 3 different aliens followed him. Away from others, they introduced themselves. "I am Kelnar of the Tolari," said a tall, thin alien with metal parts visible on its skin. "My people are skilled with machines." "I am Vishna of the Neshu," said a small purple being whose body seemed to shimmer. "We are known for strategy and planning." "And I am Drell, last speaker for the Kadeshi," said a stocky, rock-like alien. "My people have suffered most under Arvani rule. We are few but strong." Jae-hyun bowed slightly to each. "Earth welcomes your friendship." "Not just friendship," said Kelnar. "Alliance. The Arvani will not accept this defeat. They will send their main battle fleet to your system, led by Grand Admiral Zexur himself," added Vishna. "He has never lost a war." "Then he has never faced humans before," said Jae-hyun. Back on Earth, Admiral Park received Jae-hyun's report with satisfaction. 3 new allies was a good start. But the news of the coming Arvani fleet was serious. "How long do we have?" she asked her officers. 3 weeks at most," replied General Chunho. "Our scouts report hundreds of ships gathering." Admiral Park nodded. "Then we have work to do." She turned to Dr. Minji Han. "Doctor, you said you had a new breakthrough." Dr. Han smiled. "Yes, we've discovered something about human minds that gives us an advantage. The Arvani and most species think in patterns that have remained unchanged for thousands of years. But humans, prompted Admiral Park. "Humans never stop changing," said Dr. Han. "Our greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our ability to adapt faster than any species in the galaxy." Dr. Minji Han and engineer Hyun-Soo Kang stood in the main lab of the lunar facility. Around them, screens showed the Arvani battle fleet moving toward Earth. 2 weeks had passed since the victory at Europa. And now a much greater test approached. "Show me the new data," said Minji, brushing her gray-streaked hair back. Hyun-Soo brought up a set of brain scans on the main screen. Some were human, others were from their new alien allies, and some were from captured Arvani. "We noticed it when studying how different species use technology," said Hyun-Soo. "Look at the neural pathways." Minji studied the images. The Arvani brains showed neat, organized patterns. The human brain showed wild, seemingly chaotic connections. "Our brains make connections that seem random to other species," said Minji with growing excitement. "What they see as disorder, we call creativity." "Exactly," said Hyun-Soo. "The Arvani learn one way to do things, then stick to it for centuries. Humans constantly find new approaches." Minji turned to another screen showing a new version of the thunderstorm device. "And this is the result. You've already improved it." "Not just improved," said Hyun-Soo with pride. "We found completely new applications. He pointed to different parts of the device. This creates a stealth field that makes our ships nearly invisible. This generates gravity waves we can use as weapons. And this, he touched a small blue component. This can disrupt their communications. Minji smiled. In 2 weeks, we've advanced the technology more than the Arvani have advanced theirs in 2 centuries. A door opened, and Admiral Park entered with Colonel Juuyun. "Tell me good news," said Admiral Park. "The Arvani fleet will reach Jupiter's orbit in 5 days." Minji gestured to the screens. "We have good news indeed. Hensu has found new ways to use the thunderstorm technology. And my special forces are ready to use them," added Colonel Yun. "We've been training with the new systems day and night." Hensu looked concerned. "But Admiral, even with these advances, we're still outnumbered. The Arvani have hundreds of ships." Admiral Park's expression remained calm. "Numbers don't win battles. Innovation does." She walked to a large map of the solar system. "The Arvani expect us to defend Earth directly. They believe we'll make our stand here, protecting our home planet." "That would be the logical approach," agreed Minji. "Which is precisely why we won't do it," said Admiral Park with a small smile. "The Arvani think in straight lines. They expect us to react in certain ways. Their tactics haven't changed in 1,000 years because they've never needed to change." Colonel Yun nodded with understanding. "So we do the unexpected." "Always," said Admiral Park. "Now, here's my plan." In a training room on the Mars station, Colonel Yun watched her special forces practice with the new stealth technology. Soldiers appeared and disappeared as they moved, becoming visible only when they chose to be seen. Major Doyon approached her. "The troops are ready, Colonel. But I'm still not sure I understand the Admiral's strategy. Shouldn't we be preparing Earth's defenses?" Colonel Yun shook her head. "That's what the Arvani expect. They've already planned for that battle. But they haven't planned for this one. Will it work?" "The Arvani have been the dominant force in the galaxy for so long they've forgotten how to adapt," said Colonel Yun. "They've forgotten what it's like to fight for survival. But humans, we were born in struggle. We thrive in it." She watched as her soldiers practiced moving in perfect, invisible coordination. "The Arvani think war is about strength and numbers," she continued. "We know it's about wit and will. They don't fear us yet, but they will. Because the most dangerous enemy isn't the one with the biggest army. It's the one who refuses to fight the way you expect." Grand Admiral Zexier stood on the bridge of the Arvani Super Dreadnought * Supreme Authority *. His fleet of 300 warships moved in perfect formation toward the human solar system. On his screen, he could see Jupiter ahead, a giant gas planet with many moons. "Any sign of human resistance yet?" he asked his second-in-command. "None, Grand Admiral," replied the officer. "Our scouts report human ships gathering near their home planet. They appear to be preparing a defensive line." Zexier nodded with satisfaction. As expected, these humans are predictable despite their small victory at Europa. They will try to protect their homeworld at all costs. "Should we adjust our approach, Sir?" "No need," said Zexier confidently. "Our battle plan is perfect. We will crush their main fleet at Earth, then take their colonies one by one. The humans will surrender within days." Little did he know that the human fleet he detected was mostly empty ships, controlled remotely to create the illusion of a defensive line. Meanwhile, near Proxima Centauri, just 1 light-year from Earth, Captain Tae-Yum Kim led a very different mission. The Persistence and 20 of Earth's best ships, all equipped with the latest thunderstorm technology, approached the massive Arvani command station. This station controlled all Arvani communications in this sector of the galaxy. "Stealth systems functioning perfectly," reported Officer Gina. "We're completely invisible to their sensors." Taehyun nodded. "And the Arvani fleet? Still moving toward Earth as planned. They have no idea we're here." Inside the ships, Colonel Ju Yum briefed her special forces one last time. "Remember your training. The Arvani have 4 arms and are physically stronger, but they move in predictable patterns. Use speed and surprise. The soldiers nodded. They wore new combat suits with personal stealth technology and gravity manipulators. Taehyun opened a channel to all ships. This is Captain Kim. Admiral Park's strategy depends on us. While the Arvani fleet expects to find our ships defending Earth, we will strike at their command center. Without it, their fleet will lose coordination. Begin Operation Shadow Strike. Back at Earth, Admiral Park watched as the enormous Arvani fleet approached. On her screen, she could see them spreading out to engage what they thought was the main human defense force. "They've taken the bait," she said. "All remote ships, maintain position. Make them believe we're preparing to defend." A communications officer turned to her. "Admiral, Captain Kim reports they've reached the Arvani command station. Operation Shadow Strike has begun." Admiral Park nodded. "Now we wait." At the Arvani command station, alarms suddenly blared. Human ships appeared from nowhere, already within firing range. "Impossible," shouted the station commander. "There were no ships on our sensors." Blue energy beams struck the station's weapons systems with perfect accuracy. Before the Arvani could respond, transport pods attached to the station's hull. Inside each pod were Colonel Yoon's special forces. The soldiers moved through the station like ghosts, appearing and disappearing as they used their stealth technology. The Arvani guards fired at enemies they could barely see, who never attacked from the same direction twice. Colonel Yoon led a team straight toward the command center. "This way," she said, following the station map they had studied for weeks. When they reached the command center doors, Major Do-hyun placed special charges that passed through the Arvani shields. The doors blew open, and the team rushed in. Inside, Grand Admiral Zexier's second-in-command stared in shock as humans appeared in his command center. "Surrender now," said Colonel Yoon, "and no one else needs to die today." On his flagship near Jupiter, Grand Admiral Zexier was giving orders when suddenly all communications went silent. "What's happening?" he demanded. An officer worked frantically at his console. "Sir, we've lost contact with the command station, and we're receiving a transmission. It's from the station." The main screen lit up. There stood Colonel Yoon with her team, surrounding the captured Arvani command staff. "Grand Admiral Zexier," she said calmly, "your command center is now under human control. Your second-in-command has surrendered. This transmission is being broadcast to every ship in your fleet and to the Galactic Assembly." For the first time in his long military career, Grand Admiral Zexier had no words. 3 months after the battle at the Arvani command station, Dongwoo Choi walked into the Galactic Assembly. The room was different now. Species that once sat in the back now had places of honor. The Arvani, once at the center, now sat in one small section. Dongwoo wore a simple blue suit with Earth's emblem. He was no longer a petitioner, but a respected representative. As he walked to the speaking area, many aliens nodded to him with respect. "The Assembly recognizes Earth Representative Dongwoo Choi," announced the new moderator, a Toleri named Kelnar. "Thank you," said Dongwoo. 3 months ago, I stood before you asking for fair treatment. Today, I stand here as an equal partner in a new galactic community." On large screens around the room, images appeared showing human ships helping transport supplies to worlds that had suffered under Arvani rule. Other images showed human scientists working alongside alien researchers, sharing technology freely. "Earth did not fight to become a new ruler," continued Dongwoo. "We fought for the right of all species to live free from domination. Today, we take the first step toward that goal." He held up a document, the new Galactic Charter. It guaranteed equal rights for all spacefaring species and prohibited the kind of resource exploitation the Arvani had practiced for centuries. One by one, representatives from different worlds came forward to sign. Even the Arvani, now led by a new government after their military leaders were removed, added their signature. As Dongwoo signed for Earth, applause filled the room. Humans, once dismissed as weak, were now seen as heroes who had changed the galaxy forever. Back on Earth, Admiral Sujin Park stood before a memorial to those who had died at the Europa Research Station. Their sacrifice had sparked the change that transformed humanity's place in the stars. Captain Tae-hyun Kim stood beside her. "I never thought I'd live to see this day," he said. "When that Arvani ship first appeared in our space, I feared for our future." "Fear can be useful," replied Admiral Park. "It reminds us what we're fighting for." A young officer approached them. "Admiral, the President wishes to speak with you about the new defense pact with the Neshu and Kadeshi." Admiral Park nodded. "I'll be there shortly." After the officer left, Captain Kim asked, "Do you think it will last? This peace?" "Nothing lasts forever," said Admiral Park. "But we've built something good. And if trouble comes again, we've shown the galaxy that humans know how to handle it." That evening, at a celebration in the newly built Galactic Embassy in Seoul, aliens and humans mingled together. Dr. Minji Han was showing some Tolari engineers her latest research. Colonel Ju Yoon traded fighting techniques with Kadeshi warriors. Engineer Hyun-Soo Kang explained Earth music to fascinated aliens. Donggu found himself standing next to Orcs, the former Arvani ambassador who had once dismissed humans as insignificant. "Representative Choi," said Orcs, his voice more humble than before. "Your people have transformed the galaxy in a single year. It's impressive." "Thank you," said Dongwu politely. Orcs looked at him with genuine curiosity. "There's a question many species are asking. How did a species we never feared become the one we could not defeat?" Dongwu thought for a moment. "For thousands of years, the Arvani ruled through power and fear. You mistook our willingness to talk and cooperate for weakness." He looked around at the diverse gathering, at humans and aliens working together as equals. "Our greatest weapon was never our technology," said Dongwu. "It was our refusal to accept the impossible. When you told us our place in the galaxy, we decided to change the galaxy instead." Orcs nodded slowly. "A lesson the Arvani will not forget." "Not a lesson," corrected Dongwu. "An invitation to build something better together." As night fell over Earth, ships from a dozen worlds glowed in the sky. The stars no longer represented distant, unknown threats. They were now pathways to new friends, new knowledge, and new adventures for a species that had proven its place among the stars. The galaxy had learned to respect humans, and humans had shown they deserved that respect.